Let's get into this voicemail. By the way, you can always leave me a message at 510-343-3640.
Hey, Brody, this is Kenton. I am actually from Manitoba, Canada.
Nice.
Been a huge fan of the Sharks since I was a kid. And, so my question would be, with all this cap space that we're hopefully getting from, Evander Kane leaving the team, what do you think we should do with that cap space? I don't know if it's going to be $7 million or what it is. Do you think we should be looking at, getting a new player like Evander Kane, or kind of go more with the young players, the draft picks, trying to rebuild? Just trying to get your thoughts on that.
Kenton, I appreciate it. That's a great question. It's sort of a new question, I suppose. Evander's been gone for a while. In fact, he's already signed with the Oilers and played against the Sharks, but it's new because we haven't really gone down this path yet of what the Sharks should or could do with that potential salary cap void that was left by Evander Kane. Now, I should get into this straight away and tell you that I'm not sure of all the specific details of the ongoing grievance process between Kane and the Sharks, so I'm not sure if they'll owe him anything else, or if the contract is terminated, it's done, and they can move forward. I think that is what will be decided in this grievance process, but I'm also pretty sure that even if the Sharks did owe him something, that would not go against their salary cap situation. So cap space and what the Sharks do or don't owe Kane down the road, I think those are two separate things. So if we're talking about salary cap space, and to your point, the contract he signed was 7 years, $49 million total, so $7 million a year. Where would you put that approximate $7 million? Where would you put it to in trying to better your team? And I think the obvious one right away is the Tomas Hertl extension. Now, I think the Sharks were well positioned even before that to offer Tomas something that was rewarding, but certainly that secures it. And it also leaves flexibility around it. I don't think you're going to use the entire $7 million. What I mean is you already had some money. So maybe if you're using another $1.5 million along with what you already were going to commit to Hertl, maybe that sweetens the pot, sweetens the deal. You don't have to use that entire $7 on top of whatever you're going to give Tomas. So there is that, and I think that's valuable. That's important. That's something he wants. It's something the Sharks want. I think the fans are pretty much on board with that too. Outside of Hertl, I think what you're instantly looking for with this team is top six production. I'm actually quite okay with the blue line, and it is a little bit banged up right now, but it does seem like there are enough regular contributors defensively for this team to get the job done. But I think where they lack on a consistent basis is up front. And Hertl can score, Meyer can score. Logan has had some ups and downs on and offs this season. I really like what I've seen from Jonathan Dahlen in a lot of spurts, but there just has not been a consistent scoring threat up front for San Jose. And I think that's kind of my next part here. Forward depth in general. There are nights where the third and fourth lines are noticeable. They're good, but I just think forward depth in general, specifically a top six forward who is a goal scorer. And I guess we're going back to what Evander Kane was for the San Jose Sharks. You're looking for a player of that ilk. You're looking for somebody who is going to put pucks in the back of the net. It's as simple as that. I realize that's a hot commodity around the NHL. That's not the easiest thing to come by surefire. Like, you know exactly what you're going to get from somebody, because if you get that opportunity, it's going to cost you. And that brings me to, when should the Sharks spend this salary cap money? Do you do it now before the deadline if something arrives and is available? But is there a better option, maybe trying to get an unrestricted free agent come summertime? It does seem like the better deals and the better chances for long-term contracts and the players you want, it does seem like that might come more in the summer versus by March 21st with the NHL's trade deadline. So going back here to the beginning of our question and answer, I think this is important. What the Sharks do with this opportunity of salary cap space, how they spend it, who they spend it on, what they commit to, how long. And don't get me wrong, their youngest players are some of their most important. And oftentimes I omit the name Balcers and Barabanov, those are compelling young players that I would like to see more of. I'd like to make sure, and especially in Barabanov's case, that the Sharks are able to lock him down for next season and beyond. And the hypothetical $6 or $7 million of cap space here should help do that. So it's not to say that everything needs to be external here. I think this money can go a long way in sweetening deals for younger players that have made marks and have shown you what they're capable of. But I also think that as much as, the internal stuff needs to be rewarded, I also really feel like this is an opportunity for the Sharks to go out, do a little shopping. It's not something that they've been able to do like this now in a couple years.